Hello, in the video. Today we're gonna take a look at a team that I really wanted to try out again, and for reasons. We have the Araquanid back on the team here as, I don't know why, everybody forgot about Araquanid. There are so many teams that are like double or triple weak to Araquanid, it's insane. Everybody like was so prepared for this Pokemon as soon as it came out, and like after like, I don't know, a month now, everybody forgot about this Pokemon. Nobody like uses it, like nobody is preparing for it. There are so many teams like Swampert and Walrein together and Trevenant together, and all of them don't like to face the Araquanid. And I went on a really insane run with this team. Like, this team worked so well still. It is the same team that I already showcased for this Pokemon. I think maybe even a team with Araquanid as Elite might be even better, because I faced so many Pokemon Elite that were weak to it. And like in general, this team is just very nice while my first opponent just decides to take a good night and sleep here. And I don't know why he doesn't attack anymore, but happens, I guess. Go battle lag, I don't know what happened there. But I went on such a good run with this team. It worked out very better. And also this video is a little bit longer, so we can take a look at a little bit more at some more battles, because I had like I thought like I kind of can give some more battles for this kind of team, because it just worked out so well. I only played 3 sets with this, and I had a great amount of fun with this team. As we see a Sableye in the lead here, my team is pretty neutral against Sableye all over the, like in basically every position. Like the Elite is neutral against it, the Sableye is neutral against it, because it is a Sableye, and also the like the Pokemon in the back, the Araquanid, is pretty neutral against Sableye, does neutral damage against it all over, like with every move basically. As we see an Altaria swapping in here, which is fine for us as we have a lot of energy. We can go ahead, go for one foul play here, putting him at like half health, go for another foul play, putting him below half health at like red health, and we can just shield once, farm him down, and realign against whatever they have in the back, because it seems like they don't have the hardest answer to Sableye anymore. As we see Azumarill, I guess it would be a little bit better of an answer against the Sableye. I think I kind of misthrown the move here. I should have thrown like one more or whatever, because now I don't even get to another chop move. That's kind of unlucky. And I don't know if we can actually still win this game. That's kind of be a little bit tricky, as we're going to see that my opponent going to go for some more moves. I think they gonna have, no, we already know what they have in the back. They have the Sableye in the back. I'm gonna go ahead, go for one more bubble beam here, and they go ahead and they can still get to another move, which is kind of sad. We can try to get to another bubble beam here for the Sableye coming in. I should have maybe went for the other move actually. I was kind of, yeah, I should have went for the Bug Buzz. It would have been way better for me. And I guess at this point of time we lose. That's kind of sad. Like, I definitely should have went for the Bug Buzz there. It was kind of stupid why I didn't go for this. Like, I would have most likely won if I went for the Bug Buzz, and I didn't get to 2 moves anyway, so why did I not go for the Bug Buzz? I'm not sure about this. I didn't play everything too perfectly here, as we see the Toxicroak coming in with a Mud Bomb. Fine for us, we can go for our foul play, it's resisted, but we can just farm it down afterwards. We can then basically realign. We can shield this. We can realign our Walrein, our Spooder against the Walrein, which is the best Walrein answer basically in the meta, and we can actually still get to 2 foul plays here, I think, putting in it like half health and also getting a shield back, which is amazing. Sableye Say Swap still like one of the best in this meta. Like, if you don't have a good answer for Sableye Say Swap, like, this team is kind of neutral, I guess. Like, it doesn't really need the best answer, but like, it's kind of tricky to deal with it. As we see a Trevenant coming in here, we're gonna go ahead and shield this first move. I think that was only a Seed Bomb anyway. Like, I don't know why I shield this one. We go straight for the Bug Buzz. Hope that we get the debuff, 30% chance to get the defense drop, and we get the defense drop. We can go for one Rock Slide, and we should put him into a range where we can even farm him down afterwards with our little Spooder on the back, or even with our Stunfisk. We have to see here. We put him into red health. We sadly cannot farm down here. I should have thrown the move, I guess, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter too much, as we have our big boy Araquanid, and this thing can still take any move from the Walrein anyway. My opponent decides to surrender there, and this is gonna be a good game. Next up, Jellicent against us. Very awkwardly, to be honest, like one of the worst, because it's kind of core breaker between the Stunfisk and the Araquanid. But we still can take one move here, and my opponent actually places really well, if I remember it correctly. They go straight for the Shadow Ball. We're gonna shield, like, no shield the first one. They're gonna shield my Earthquake here, and now we're gonna see P-Tai here. And of course, they're gonna bait me here, which was like a very nice play by my opponent, very safe play for the opponent as well. Very well played there, as we're gonna go ahead, go into our Sableye, putting him pretty low, and we're gonna shield this up as well, because it seems like they don't have a Charmer in the back, otherwise they would swap out already. They have a Scrafty in the back, and the Scrafty doesn't want to face a return, I think, so we're just gonna go straight for that, and boom, putting him into the red health now. We can farm down with the Shadow Claw here, we can still get to another move in time, so we can KO the Scrafty in this kind of scenario, unless they want to shield this. Do they want to shield this? They don't want to shield this, and we see a Nidoqueen in the back, and at this point we basically already lost, because what are we supposed to do against the Nidoqueen? I don't know, we will see. We see a Poison Fang coming through. I'm just gonna wait until they throw another one. They throw another one. I can go for the Bubble Beam, I guess, now, or I'm just gonna swap out immediately. I swap out immediately, and my opponent makes a great play here in catching the potential Earthquake, which wasn't an Earthquake, which is a Rock Slide, which is fine. And we have to no bubble, we can farm down, we can go straight for the Rock Slide here. They are now at 1 Earth Power, but it's gonna come down to the wire. They're gonna let this move go through actually, which is kinda insane. And as we're gonna see here, they go for the Earth Power. I'm gonna go for the debuff move here, as I think it's kinda important to not get too much damage from the Poison Fang, as we have to try to farm down here. And they can get still to a Poison Fang. Who's gonna win this game here still? We're gonna see the Poison Fang come through, but the Araquanid, thanks to the debuff, gonna be able to survive this. And we're gonna be able to win the game. They're good game to my opponent, as we see a horrible lead here with the Trevenant. We go into our Sableye, going straight for the charge move here. We don't play around here. We're gonna get a shield, and we're gonna be able to basically desync the switch clock, which is very important in this kind of matchup. As they're gonna go ahead, go for the bait, which is a smart move, and go into a Toxicroak, which isn't a smart move because you can go for one return, and you're gonna see their biggest boom against the Toxicroak, as we can KO this thing pretty easily. They go back into their Trevenant now, which means they're pretty weak against Sableye in the back, so I'm gonna shield this move up, and I'm just gonna farm this thing down, and we're gonna know that they have a Blaziken in the back now, which is pretty horrible, because we're gonna go for the foul play. They're gonna shield this up, we go into our Araquanid, we just hope they don't have the Brave Bird, or that Brave Bird doesn't KO me here. Does it KO an Araquanid from full health? It actually does, but if they have Brave Bird, I just have to hope that they don't have the Blast Burn, and they don't have the Blast Burn. They most likely had the, what's it called? Yeah, no, Blaze Cake. Blaze Cake is not enough to KO this Stunfisk, and we win this game there. If they didn't have the, if they had like the Blast Burn, they would have one-shot me, but they didn't, which is good. We see in Venusaur on the lead, we see the Sableye and Sazor, but I don't know really how to deal with the Venusaur. Against Venusaur, everything is kind of neutral, to be honest here. And just go into my Sazor. Like, the Sazor here basically is supposed to get out the flying types, so the Araquanid doesn't have to face them. But no, we're gonna face like a Bastion, which is also fine for me. Against the Bastion, we're gonna go ahead, and we have to throw another move here actually, as otherwise I'm not gonna be able to swap out in time before they can get to another charge move. So we can swap out now perfectly on that charge move they didn't throw, but it is fine. They're gonna throw their big flamethrower now, which doesn't do any damage whatsoever. But we can go ahead and try to farm all the way down with a match-shot damage. We can take another flamethrower. The fast move damage is basically not there, and we just farm them all the way down. Going for the bait here now against the incoming Venusaur, as we're gonna shield this first move up here. Please shield as well. We need the shield from them, as we see that they are going to go ahead and no-shield this move, which is horrible, and I'm just gonna swap into my Sableye, and we see a Stunfisk coming in. I expected the Stunfisk at this point of time, because it's like kinda a common team here, but thanks to our beautiful Sableye, we can still get to 2 moves here, and they're gonna fear my potential Earthquake on the other Stunfisk, which I'm fine with, as my Stunfisk has 2 attack. I'm just going to go straight for the Rock Slide here, and we're going to see the shield coming up, which basically already tells me I'm going to win this game pretty easily. They go for the Rock Slide bait, which even allows me to get more farm off there, and they have to go for more Rock Slides here. They can only get to 1 more Rock Slide, and you see it does like next to nothing, even though it's super effective. Venusaur gets farmed down, and the Spooder is just cleaning up this game pretty easily, as we see the next opponent having Ascap in the lead. Horrible lead for us, also kind of core breaker, as we see a Charm user coming in here against us, which is horrible. We can go ahead, go straight for the return, and boom, getting the shield. Fine for us. We can go into our Stunfisk again, and what we have to do here now is go for 1 Rock Slide after we had 100 energy. I'm gonna shield this move up, whatever it is. Like, I need to shield something against those Charm teams, as I expect another Charmer in the back. We go ahead, go for the Rock Slide, KOing this, I actually thought it wouldn't KO it immediately. Like the KO here is pretty bad for me, as I'm gonna go ahead, go for 2 more moves, try to bait the potential Earthquake here against this ASCAV, and we're gonna get the shield, which is important, as we have no really damaging move on our Spooder to hit this ASCAV. We're gonna go ahead, go for one Earthquake here, putting him into basically farm down range for the Spooder with this, and refarm the thing down. With our Spooder, we see the Umbreon coming in, we win this game pretty easily, as a Spooder is a very hard answer against the Umbreon. We go straight for the Bubble Beam first, because we can just now take all those charge moves way easier. Like you see, it does no damage whatsoever, and now we can just go for a Bug Boss afterwards, because we need more moves and then one Bug Boss anyway. It doesn't really matter too much. We go straight down for the Bug Boss, and boom, bye bye Umbreon. We see the ASCAV coming in, and we just gonna clean again with our Spooder. Spooder is just too good. I remember this game because I played it horrible, I'm pretty sure. I had like one game where I had the Umbreon lead and played completely bad, as I go for too many moves here right now. As you can see here, I am at like basically 99 energy. They get a free Snarl in, and not only this, I'm also gonna go ahead and do exactly the same thing here again. I'm gonna go for too much moves, or like one too little, I guess. And yeah, they get like 2 free Snarls, which is really annoying, because that was like a really bad play by me, but I just woke up at this point of time. So oopsie, didn't play too well here, as I have to shield now a foul play on my Sableye as well. We can go ahead, go straight for the return at least, KO this thing, and maybe we still have a chance of winning this, but like horrible first matchup for me, because I played it horrible. Like this were all mistakes by me. But this game gonna have an interesting turnaround here, as we see the Skarmory coming in here. Of course, they're gonna go ahead, let the first move go through. They can let the second move, like they have to shield the second move, but they can just go for a charge move here, right? Yeah, they decide to farm me down. Didn't work out for them. And this is the twist that I cannot say here. Sableye just way too broken. It completely destroys the Skarmory. We see the Deoxys defense coming in. And you know what we have in the back. My opponent doesn't even want to see what we have in the back. The Araquanid would have just completely went through the opponent. Would have loved to see that, but hey, my opponent here has a Wigglytuff Say Swap against me. Very cool. Very nice team trainer. Bastion, Wigglytuff. Let's see what you have in the back. Definitely some more skilled Pokemon, I bet. As we go ahead, go for the Earthquake, and boom, Bite Charmer, as we see the Victory Bell. And I kind of make a mistake here by going into the Sableye. I think I should have went into my hard answer with the Araquanid here, but it is fine. We can get one shield there. We can farm this thing down into a range where even like a Rock Slide easily KOs it. As we wait out the clock, as they go for the move immediately, I'm just gonna no-shield this, because I think it's an Acid Spray. It is an Acid Spray, and they swap into their Bastion. I go ahead, go for one Bubble Beam, and now I should be able to swap out in time into my little, into my Stunfisk here. They are debuffed. I'm still gonna shield this move, because I kinda need to throw my shields somewhere, at least in this matchup. Don't really want to take 2 shields home, to be honest, even though I could most likely go straight for the Earthquake. I undercharge here, so I can get at least like 2 more Mud Shots at this farm, and now I can get easily 2 Rock Slides in time. Actually, like the 2 Mud Shots really helped me there. I think I wouldn't have got to the other Rock Slide in time otherwise, so like undercharging, if you know what you're doing, it's pretty decent technique to win some games or make some games a little bit clearer. I still would have won most likely, but yeah, we see the horrible lead for this team, which is the Azumarill again. Azumarill is a little bit tricky to deal with, as we have to go for a straight Earthquake, but actually the matchup between Azumarill and the Stunfisk, since the Bubble Nerf, is pretty decent, as we can swap into our Sableye onto an Ice Beam, which is pretty nice as well. As we can now go for some returns against this thing, we can shield against this thing, and we should be in a pretty decent spot here, as we can go for some nice returns, but they swap into their own Sableye. Fine for me, I can go for one return, for one fall play here, one return would be funny, and go for another one. I think they're just gonna let this move go through as well, winning us this matchup already, and they can go ahead, go back into their Azu if they want to. But what I expect here at this point of time is, I see an Azumarill lead, I see a Sableye Say Swap, and I see something in the back that most likely gonna be there, which gonna be the Alolan Marowak, because it's a very common team with Alolan Marowak in the back, and yeah. In general, I want to ask you a question, by the way, if you're still watching at this point of time. Are you interested in like really meta teams? Like usually I have like some more unique-ish teams or whatever, but I'm kind of thinking of doing like something, oh, this team is really good with Azumarill, this team is really good with Altaria, this team is really good with like Registeel, because I think it would be maybe cool for you to have like really good teams to climb, and instead of like teams that are like, this team is also really good, but like it's more creative, like maybe some less creative teams because people have more the Pokemon for this. But look at the sweep, by the way, with Stunfisk. But just like a general thing, like I haven't used Azumarill at all for I think at least like 5-6 seasons or whatever. Like I didn't really use it whatsoever. So it would be interesting for me to use this Pokemon again as well, because everybody else uses it. I just despise it, so I don't really use it, but I think it would be also cool to showcase. Like I usually don't really showcase those crazy meta Pokemon, but maybe it's time to change it a little bit, especially as we have like 3 out of the last 4 weeks Great League. Maybe I'm just gonna make like for the next iteration, not for this one, more less spicy teams basically, and just like a series, maybe 1 week just teams to climb with. Maybe it would be interesting for you as well. We have to see. Else we're gonna see my opponent here going for more crunches. It's fine for me. I don't know why they're valuing the Trapian that much, because now I have the lead advantage. Basically, I can swap out immediately into my own Sableye against their Sableye. I see here that I lose CMP against it, which is kind of bad for me, but I can just let the move go through as well. I can go for my move. I could be, like the thing here, which I thought would be maybe even the smarter play here, is not to throw my move and just farm it down. I would be able to farm down and keep my move in time, but I go into my Araquanid. They have their Stunfisk, they go straight for their Rock Slide here, which is interesting. I still have my Stunfisk, my only way here is to go for one Earthquake and win this, and we get there with 1 HP in a Dream. So we can just go for the Earthquake and boom, bye Stunfisk. We see the Sableye is like basically next to no HP, and we're gonna be able to win the game. And I think we're gonna go into the final game now, as we see the Vigoroth in the lead. Horrible for this team, as we're gonna go into our Sableye, which is not a way better matchup against the Vigoroth, but like you usually don't really see the Vigoroth in the lead, to be honest. As we see the Bulldoze coming through, correct shield by us, we can go for our own foul play, putting this thing into a range where I can even maybe KO it with a Rock Slide later on. We have to see as they go ahead and go into their own Sableye. We can go ahead and go for some more foul plays here, as we see the foul plays coming through. I know that this was a CMP tie now, they have a better Sableye than me, I guess, as we're gonna see that they can just go ahead, go for the foul play. But because they go for it straight here, that means I can go for another Rock Slide before they can get to another foul play, which means I can win this matchup pretty easily without taking another charge move. And I can swap now into my Araquanid against the Vigoroth. Let's see what they have in the back now after this. So Vigoroth gonna go for some body slams. We have to see what do they have in the back. We can go for some more bug bites here. As we see the body slams coming through, we can go for another bubble beam here. And we will see they gonna have a Pokemon in the back that I really didn't want to face. It's a Trevenant, and the Trevenant here gonna have a very nice time sadly against me, as we're gonna go ahead and go for the bait here. We have to go for the bait here in my opinion. So we're gonna go for the bait here in my opinion, and we're gonna get the bait done, and we're gonna get now into our Stunfisk, and we should be able to get even to 2 Rock Slides in time. As we get the first Rock Slide, they can go for 1 move. I get even the fast move through, which was kind of interesting, but it's gonna be a Shadow Ball, and we get to the next Rock Slide in time, winning us the game here. Thanks all for watching. See you next video. Have a great rest of your day. This team works amazingly, so you should definitely try it out.